So think about trying to navigate today's financial markets. It often feels like you've got this choice, right?
Yeah, between what? Gut feeling, human experience.
Exactly. Years of intuition, or just handing it all over to the machines, the algorithms crunching numbers super fast.
Right. But what if there's another way? A better way, maybe.
That's what we're digging into today. What if the best path isn't picking one side, but actually combining them smartly?
Precisely. This whole idea of a hybrid model in trading. And our insights for this deep dive, they're coming from materials shared by Faida Ventures Ltd.
Okay, Faida Ventures, and they're a wealth management firm.
Yeah, and they seem really focused on this exact blend,
Mm.
you know, bringing together that seasoned human expertise with these sophisticated automated trading systems.
So the big question for you listening is probably this. How can this combination, this synergy between people and tech, potentially lead to, well, stronger, more dependable trading results for you?
And maybe just as important, what are the risks, the pitfalls, if you lean too hard one way or the other?
Totally. So our mission here is to really get under the hood of this hybrid thing.
Yeah, understand the real benefits, the reasons why putting human insight together with automated systems is becoming, well, pretty important.
Okay, let's dive into what Faida Ventures has shared.
Let's do it.
Right, so this hybrid model idea, it seems to be gaining some real momentum. Why now? What's making this mix so appealing in today's markets? They're so complex, so data heavy.
Well, I think there's this growing realization, isn't there? Modern markets throw curveballs that honestly neither humans alone nor purely automated systems can always handle perfectly.
Uh-huh.
So, as Faida Ventures points out, this hybrid approach tries to grab the best bits from both sides. You get the logic and adaptability of a person.
Working with the speed and, well, the tireless nature of a machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the goal, more consistent results, better risk management, trying to avoid those unnecessary bumps in the road.
And Faida Ventures, their philosophy revolves around building these automated systems. They call them EAs.
Expert advisors, yeah, EAs. Think of them like software that automatically makes trades based on rules. But, and this is key, they emphasize these EAs are built and guided by experienced pros.
Okay, that makes sense. So we know automation is powerful. Speed, pattern recognition, no emotion messing things up.
Definitely strengths.
But where do these purely automated strategies, these EAs left totally on their own, where do they stumble? What are the limits that mean you still need a human in the loop?
Okay, so while they're great at repetitive tasks, spotting statistical patterns fast, and yeah, taking emotion out of it.
Which is huge in trading.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But their limits show up when things get really dynamic, unpredictable. Like, imagine a sudden geopolitical crisis.
Okay.
A purely rule-based EA. It might just keep chugging along based on its programming, but that programming might suddenly be totally out of date,
All right.
you know? Because the whole context is shifted.
Right, it's reacting to numbers, maybe old numbers, but doesn't grasp why the world just changed.
Exactly. It lacks that human ability to understand the why, the potential long-term impact. An experienced trader might see that shift instantly.
They can process the data, but not the story behind the data.
Precisely. They don't have the judgment to read between the lines of, say, a central bank announcement, or pick up on shifting investor psychology, or grasp how, major social or political tensions might play out in the market.
And they don't fix themselves either, right?
Not at all. That's a critical point.
Wow.
They need constant human oversight, reviewing, updating, tweaking the strategies as the markets evolve. What worked last month or even last week might need adjusting.
So automation handles the tactical grind, but you absolutely need that strategic human brain watching over everything.
Yeah.
Which brings us to what the seasoned pros learn. What can they do that even the smartest algorithm just can't replicate?
This is where things like strategic foresight come in, a deep grasp of the macro environment. Experienced traders can place raw data into a much bigger economic, even political picture.
Contextualization.
Exactly. Faida Ventures gives an example, like imagine a sudden inflation spike. Is it a one-off blip from some specific event?
Or is it the start of something bigger, a real trend?
Right. A human trader, using their experience, might be able to make that distinction. An algorithm, just seeing the number, it might miss that crucial difference.
So it's seeing the forest, not just the trees. Understanding the drivers, not just reacting to the data points flashing on the screen.
You got it. And Faida Ventures' approach, from what we understand, really leans into this human oversight. Their team is constantly analyzing the market, digging into the EA performance data.
Checking how the robots are doing.
Yeah, And importantly, they apply what they call discretionary filters.
Okay, what does that mean in
It
practice?
sounds like manual overrides, basically. Humans stepping in to adjust or even pause the automated trading, especially when things get super volatile or uncertain. Like maybe deciding not to trade during certain high-risk news events.
Ah, okay, so a human safety switch, almost.
Kind of. They believe this continuous human involvement keeps their systems, sharp, responsive, and actually aligned with what's happening now in the markets.
Okay, so we've got the strengths. Automation for speed and efficiency, humans for strategy and adaptability. How do they actually mesh together in this hybrid model? Paint us a picture of how this integrated system works day to day, maybe using Faida Ventures' setup as a guide.
Sure. Let's break down the roles. The automated systems, the EAs, they're doing the heavy lifting on execution and monitoring.
Placing the trades, managing the orders,
Right, and constantly watching the market conditions. They're also doing real-time analysis of technical indicators, price action, volatility, identifying trends, all that stuff.
the number crunching.
Yeah, and crucially, they apply the risk rules consistently, every single time. No fear, no greed messing it up. Like setting stop losses at a certain point to cap potential downside, that's automatic.
Okay, so EAs handle the moment-to-moment stuff, the execution, the immediate risk control. Where do the human experts focus their energy in this partnership?
Their role is more strategic, more adaptive. They're the ones making adjustments to the core trading logic of the EAs, especially when something weird or unexpected happens.
Like a black swan event, or maybe just a big policy shift.
Exactly. Things that might just break the old patterns the EA was built on. Humans also optimize the EAs based on forward-looking analysis. What do they think is coming next economically?
Right, anticipating future trends.
Yeah, and figuring out how to tweak the strategies to maybe benefit from that or at least protect against the risks. And finally, they oversee the bigger picture risk, the overall portfolio, diversification, how much risk the whole strategy is taking on. That's a human strategic call.
It sounds very dynamic, like a constant conversation between the human team and the system. The source material mentions a continuous feedback loop. How does that actually work?
Yeah, that loop is really central to making the hybrid model work well, and Faida Ventures talks about it. It basically goes like this. Step 1, the automated systems trade in the market, following their rules.
Okay, boots on the ground.
Then, step 2, all the data from those trades, what worked, what didn't, under what conditions, gets collected and analyzed hard by the human team.
Looking for patterns, weaknesses, opportunities.
Precisely. Then step 3, based on that analysis and factoring in how the market itself might be changing, the humans decide on adjustments, tweaking the rules, changing parameters.
Defining the strategy.
Exactly. And finally, step 4, those updated, human-refined systems get put back into the market to trade live, and the cycle starts again.
So it's definitely not set it and forget it. It's always learning, always improving, based on real results and human smarts.
That's the idea. They call it a self-improving cycle. Tech provides the power, the efficiency.
And the humans provide the direction, the intelligence, the adaptation.
Got it. It's meant to be very interactive, very iterative, constantly getting better, hopefully.
Okay, so after going through all this, what are the main things you think listeners should really take away? What's the core message here?
Well, the big idea, definitely pushed by Faida Ventures, is that the future of really effective trading probably isn't about choosing humans or machines. It's about the synergy between them.
That combination being more powerful than either one alone.
Right, by blending the speed, the consistency, the analytical grunt work of automation.
With the strategic thinking, the adaptability, the contextual awareness of human experts.
You potentially end up with trading systems that aren't just aiming for profit, but are also more resilient, more sustainable over the long haul because they can adapt.
More intelligent in a way.
Yes, smarter systems that combine raw computing power with that human understanding of how markets really tick.
So for you, the listener, the potential benefit is strategies that are maybe more robust, more adaptive, working behind the scenes.
That seems to be the promise.
Right.
And, Faida Ventures, they clearly believe in this model. They state pretty confidently that their results speak for themselves.
And they have that tagline.
Yeah, it sums it up nicely. Trade smart. Trade evolved. Let humans and machines work together for your financial future. It's a pretty compelling vision, I think.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, the key insight really seems to be that the most effective approach in these complex markets today looks like integrating automation with that crucial layer of human oversight and strategic thinking.
That's the takeaway. And, it makes you think, how else could this model apply? combining automation and human smarts in other really complex fields, not just finance.
Interesting point, like medicine or logistics or scientific research, maybe?
Could be. What are the upsides, the challenges when you try to build these hybrid approaches elsewhere? Something definitely worth mulling over, maybe in areas you're familiar with.
Absolutely. A great thought to leave things on. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive, exploring this potential of blending human and machine intelligence in trading based on the perspectives we looked at today.
Hope it gave you some valuable insights.
And maybe encourages you to keep thinking about this intersection, this collaboration in lots of different parts of our world. Thanks for joining us.